You're listening to Black Salt Audio, and this is Fix My Mix.
Alright, hello and welcome to another episode of Fix My Mix. This is episode 4 already, and today we're going to be talking about vocal mixing specifically. We got a guest here who is struggling to get the vocals to sit just right? He's like, sometimes they're poking out, sometimes they're just not really as upfront as the lead vocals should be and not grabbing any attention of the listener. So where exactly is that sweet spot, and how can we actually make sure that our vocals sit right in that sweet spot? Now, if you want to be part of the Fix My Mix show, all you have to do is sign up for the Artist Pass. You get all of our plugins, all of our courses, we get regular Q&A and mix review calls, and of course, your opportunity to submit a mix for Fix My Mix. Alright, the phone is ringing. Let's see who is today's guest. Yes, we got a connection. Who is this? Who am I speaking with?
Здорово, YouTube. My name is Dmitry. I'm a bedroom producer from Russia, a very cold place. And yeah, recently I've been struggling with my mixes. They've been around like 6, 7-ish. So the punchline is not intended, but yeah. And I would like them to go closer to 9, 10-ish. Degree, and that's why I'm here. I'm really excited to learn something new today. So yeah, let's dive right into it.
Awesome, man. Big welcome to the show here, man. From Russia. Really cool. I love that. So 6, 7 right now. You want to go 9, 10. Tell me about the specific mix that you brought to the show today. What is holding it back from being a 9 out of 10 right now, in your opinion?
In my mind, the main issue with this mix is certainly vocals, because, well, they sound kind of detached from the whole mix. And no matter what I've tried, it's usually either too detached, too many effects like reverbs, delays, and so on and so forth, or it's just buried within the clutter of sound. So instead of listening and focusing mainly on the vocals, you try to distinguish every single syllable and, well, what try to understand what exactly is going on there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So did you try anything yet, like in terms of processing or whatever, in order to really find that sweet spot? I know you've mentioned like reverbs and delays, but then it gets too much. What else have you tried to kind of get this down?
The recent thing that I've learned about kind of connecting vocals to the mix is lots and lots of compression. I guess it's thanks to your channel and to your community as well. But again, in my experience, no matter the amount of compression I do, it's still kind of, the problem remains, basically.
Okay.
Even if I have 4 or 5 compressors, parallel compression, parallel saturation, just doesn't work. It just, it becomes a giant mess of sound instead of clear, distinguishable vocals.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's see, man. If we can dial this in here, let's just go to Pro Tools, because you brought me the song, obviously, and all the the instrumental mix over here, and all the separate vocal tracks over here. Let's just take a listen, man, to your final mix, which is down at the bottom here. See what kind of problems we're having here. Here we go. Let's check out the chorus, I think, over here. Okay, so it's definitely like a very produced vocal style, right? I can hear tons of tuning and kind of almost weird effects. Was that you, or is that like kind of the vibe that you're going for, or is this like accidental sounding very processed already?
Well, the only thing I have is I mean, the vocals within this mix is very produced, as they say. It has lots and lots of sounds against saturation. I try to boost the effects of autotune to sound it artificial, like supernatural, in a sort of way. But again, as I'm still hearing right now, there is it's processed, but it's still kind of detached from the mix. It's not there. It's there, but it's not.
It's there, but it's not there. That's a good line. Okay, let's see, man. Let's just mute your mix right now and see what kind of the raw vocal sounds we have here.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
Yeah, definitely very tuned and produced vocals, which is very cool.
Leave me on my own, leave me on.
Are these like real vocals or like from a vocal library or something like that?
No, it's just a real person I'm working with.
Wow, okay, cool. Let's see, you got some background doubles here, seems like. Yeah, so just a good stereo double, and we got a bunch more. All right, cool. Let's just see what needs to happen to these, man. Let's bring up Tello's vocals. One more question, actually. Did you compress those vocals while you were recording those?
Yeah, on the way in, it's just like basic compression, nothing, just to level things up.
Yeah,
basically.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's usually what, in the Tellos plugin at least, we would do with the control. But I probably still want to do a bit more just to really kind of nail them down a bit.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
Let me crank this output down a bit.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
Yeah, just even a bit more control, quite literally, of course. Okay, so now when I'm thinking about vocals that need to cut through but don't need to be disconnected, usually for me, a first step will be just cranking up mid-range. To me, that's where most of the definition in a vocal is. So let's see what we need here. These vocals actually sound pretty good already, so we might not even have to do a ton of processing here.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
Definitely some presence boost here, so slightly higher there.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a...
And then, of course, top end in order to kind of bring her close, right? So kind of more in-your-face sound.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a...
Does get a little bit harsh, so we do have to fix that.
Don't touch me, don't touch me, I'm a...
And de-essing, obviously.
Don't touch me, I'm a...
Okay, and now you mentioned, like, no matter how much compression you apply, somehow it still doesn't really feel, what is it, like connected to the music, just disconnected and everything. Yep. What kind of compression have you been doing? Do you remember what plugins and what kind of settings, like fast attack, whatever, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, my go-to thing is, first of all, this basic compression on the way in, just to level things up. Then 1176, of course, for character, for attack, just for hearing every syllable. Then some late to ages to, level things up a bit more after the 76, and maybe some parallel compression depending on the genre, but usually, well, it certainly goes in a certain way.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that means there's compression on the way in, that's first, and then the 76 second, the LA 2-way, and then you get parallel, so there's 4 stages of compression.
Yep.
I would say you can probably simplify that by a lot, man, and just have 2 instead. Just one control and one kind of character compression. So that will be like the compression on the way in, like this, like you have now, and then maybe a little bit more if you need it with the plugin. And then just like the push, like just that, what is it, the character compression. And that's all you really have to do in order to get that vocal nice and upfront. And it's usually, man, by just overcomplicating things. Where it also gets really hard to diagnose why things aren't working. Why is this vocal still not connected to the instrumental? Why does it feel separated now? And then you gotta like diagnose between 4 different stages of compression and effects and whatnot. Where's the problem, right? So just making it more complicated than necessary, I'd say. So in this case, man, I'm just gonna try to keep that control in mind. We got some on the way in, plus here, and then I'm just gonna push it here with the aggressive mode compression, and let's see if that's enough in order to kind of both level out the levels obviously, but also give her that character and the aggressive sound here. So let's see what that sounds like.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
That's already pretty much it. We're getting a lot of his though, so.
I don't wanna go for coffee, I just wanna lay in coughing.
Yeah, there's probably some hits on the recording there that we're just bringing up.
I don't wanna talk, so just leave me on my...
The compression, though, to me, feels very solid now because it's both controlled, but also has a bit of that character sound, the 1176 sound that we're trying to recreate here with that push. Let's see what this sounds like in context of the mix real quick. Just, the quick EQ and compression settings.
I don't wanna speak, don't touch me, I'm a freak.
Okay, and this one.
I don't wanna go for coffee.
Okay, so I'm not unhappy with this, but I do think that the instrumental mix could use a little bit more mid-range, actually, without jumping too much from topic to topic. But that could be another thing, why you struggle to glue this vocal to the instrumental mix, right? To me, the instrumental mix feels a little bit on the scooped side, so I want to boost some more mid-range in here. And then with that new context, with that new kind of more mid-rangey instrumental mix, it's probably going to be a little bit easier to make the decision about what the right vocal level is and what the right amount of effects is going to be and all those sorts of things. But yeah, we need that new context first, right? So let me just play the chorus, for example, here. Yeah, it's probably mostly the guitar, so let's do this on the sides only. So big mid-range on the sides on the guitars, or bigger. And now let's copy the vocal processing to the chorus lead vocal here. Okay, right now, I am happy with the compression, but I do know what you mean, where it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of poking out in a not so nice way yet. This could actually be one of those rare instances where we have to be a little bit more surgical on vocals, which could actually be just because you have a lot of auto-tune going on, you got some other stuff going on, compression, etc. Combination of those things can sometimes bring out a bit too much harshness on the vocal, and I think this is one of those cases. So let's see if we can just hunt that down and find the sweet spot for the amount of aggressiveness, I guess, in the vocal versus just ability to glue it to the instrumental mix. Yeah, hopefully you could hear that too, but it's just a very aggressive area here, around 3.7, I guess. That frequency is just jumping out way too much. Okay, and now in context of the mix, I want to bring in even a bit more kind of that lower mid-range, which is going to make her sound a little bit warmer. Because right now, again, it's still pretty harsh, pretty, bright and harsh. Tons of presence, tons of top end, but not enough body. So let's see if we can kind of fix that. Let's do that in solo.
Leave me on my own, leave me on my own. I don't wanna stay in touch with you at all.
Sounds a bit honky in solo here, but in context of the mix. That actually starts to sound pretty good to me. How do you like this? Do you feel like we're getting closer to what you're looking for already?
Yeah, I'm really missing the reverbs, the sounds, just to get the full picture. But yeah, it's basically way closer than I ever was.
I fully agree, man. That's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna create a new send here. And then I have another note about the stereo background vocals as well. I feel like in your original mix, we can compare that a little bit later on. I feel like you got them quite low in the mix. But I think if you bring them up a little bit more, they're just going to automatically glue a little bit more to the guitars, which are also panned out. And so just having the lead down the center, really, how would you say that? You got the lead vocal down the center, and then you just give the sides a lot of strength as well, and that's just automatically going to spread her out more over the entire panorama, I guess, from left to right. Instead of just being it right down the center. Of course, that's going to be way harder to glue because it's just going to poke out. But if there's vocal information on the sides as well, it's spread out, it's just very wide, this is going to be a more glued sound just naturally. So we're going to try that as well and just have the background vocals way louder. But first, let's see if we can get some Delverb going on the lead vocals. And the Delverb is one of my presets actually in the delays plugin. Delverb, which is basically just the reverb signal being thrown into a quite wet, the delayed signal being thrown into a quite wet reverb there. Let's see how much of that we need here.
Leave me on my own.
And of course I need to route this, otherwise you guys can't hear this. Here we go.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on my own.
And it's heavily filtered as well, so it's just mid-range drowned in reverb. That's basically the Delverb preset here.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on.
So I'm just going to make a guess of how much we need in solo, but then of course when we put it in the full mix, we're going to lose all of that reverb immediately.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on my own. I don't wanna stay in touch with you at all. Leave me on my own.
You can already tell kind of what I was saying earlier, right? Now we're kind of spreading around over the stereo field, more left and right info going on, and it's just immediately gluing to the mix. And that's exactly what I want to do with these backing vocals as well, the stereo ones. So let's bring those in real quick.
Leave me on my
I'm just going to copy the processing over everything, and then make some small adjustments here,
Leave me on my own.
because I don't think we need a lot of body here, so less of that.
Leave me on.
And we definitely don't need as much top end neither. Because that way we're gonna kind of, play with the front to back image a bit more, right? Because more high frequencies will make us perceive a sound to be very close and up front. And a darker sound will make us think like, oh, this is actually very far away. So that's what we're gonna do here as well.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on my own. I don't want.
That's pretty much what I'm looking for there.
Leave me on my own. Leave me.
That's already kind of big sounding, right? And just copying over the Delverb setting.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on.
Now, when I hear this in solo, I'm kind of estimating this is probably going to glue pretty well to an instrumental mix. What do you think?
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's check it out.
Leave me on my own. Leave me on my own. I don't wanna stay in touch with you at all. Leave me on my own. Leave me on.
Yeah, I think that's gluing really well there.
Yep.
And the thing with thinking about it is like mid versus sides and versus how much sides we got in particularly. You can think of that as like your glue fader almost, like how much reverb you're gonna throw at it and how much of the stereo backing vocals you're gonna use. That's really like two faders that you got for how much glue do I want to the instrumental mix. Because if you keep her very dry and not a lot of the stereo backing vocals, then it's just gonna be right down the center, sticking out like a sore thumb because it's just one vocal right there, right? And so just by using all that stereo stuff there, that's really how you glue them to the guitars or to the full instrumental mix. Actually, is that making sense? Pretty much.
Yeah. I guess I'm usually afraid to boost the stereo vocals because they sound when there are too much highs. Yeah, sorry for my cat in the background. When there is too much highs on the stereo vocals, then it sounds a bit chorusy. It's just kind of this sort of distorted thing. But if you get rid of those highs and quite heavily, then I guess that's what you're talking about. That's how you get this gluing effect without losing the sides as well.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a bright sound, our brain will think like, oh, that sound is very close to us because the high frequencies are not very strong, right? And so they can't travel really far. So when a sound is very bright, our brain thinks, oh, this sound source must be very close because the high frequencies haven't died yet over the distance. And when a sound source is very far away, it will just naturally sound darker. Because again, high frequencies just cannot travel that far. And that's just, one way to just push things back into the mix is just make them darker and less loud, obviously. But yeah, you're totally right, man. If you just keep your backing vocals too bright and too similar to the lead vocal, then it's just going to get messy and you want to, just lower the fader there. But yeah, make them a bit darker, man, on purpose. Just focus on that mid-range, that definition there. And drown them a bit in reverb, obviously, and delays to just give them a bit more sense of space, sense of ambience. And yeah, with that, I guess you really just have two faders there for direct sound, which is just going to be your dry lead vocal, versus glue, which is going to be all these other things, stereo vocals and the reverb. That gives you tons of control, man. Let's quickly compare to your original mix here, which is this one. Versus what we have now. Awesome, man. What are the main differences that you notice now? Now we compare them.
As if she made a step forward, just basically like through the mic to your ears. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but still kind of
everything else, sounds similar in terms of. I'm sure there are some delays and reverbs in the original mix, but the way this sounds is just like she made some movement towards the microphone, as if the mic didn't stand close enough or something. Yeah, so
right on. I gotcha. Yeah. I guess that's really that mid-range boost that I'm doing on the lead vocal here. Because again, that's just really going to give you a ton of definition. And then if you combine that with that brightness, it's really like, boom, right in your face. And probably just the easier compression, right? The no 4 stages compression, just 2. That's enough. Yeah, so try to stick with that, man. Just try to simplify vocal processing specifically. Because I think it's one of those things where people just overcomplicate it so quickly. Because, more must be better, right? More compression. We have all heard the YouTube tutorials like, you got to compress vocals very, very hard. And it's true, but it doesn't, require a very complicated chain, I guess, in order to really achieve that goal. So yeah, man, hopefully just seeing this is a good eye-opener for you and you can apply this in your own mix with more mid-range and way more use of your delays and reverbs and the stereo backing vocals. It's really going to help you a lot here to glue that vocal.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great advice. I'm really looking forward to using it in my next mix because now it's kind of eye opening because now there's the how to approach the stereo vocals without this chorusy effect and bringing the lead vocal up front. It's just now it's a game changer.
Awesome, love it, man. Super sick. Well, good luck on your next mix, man, and hopefully we'll see you again on the show in the future.
Yep. Have a good one. Bye.
Sounds good, man. Awesome. All right, that was it already for today's episode of Fix My Mix. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified every single week when we drop a new episode. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.